Hey guys, hey, how you doing? I missed you. I missed you. I missed you a lot. I actually did this time. Well, I'm eating some potatoes, beans, and octopus. And it tastes so good. It tastes so good. It tastes so good, my love. Okay, it's really nice. That's the painting I was talking to you about. I told you that I got it. That's the painting. That's the painting, Bacons. What are you guys up to today? Mm. Oh, I am so depressed, guys. Okay, I am so depressed. So, I told you that they told me I was entitled to $12 million. It ended up being a scam. So basically, those guys, they're like, you have to pay the processing. That's when I knew that it was so fucked up. As soon as they start telling you to pay for this thing for them to give you the payment, you know it's a scam. So I was like, nah. There's no way you're gonna charge me for an inheritance. There's no way that that's possible. Mm? They say they charge you to get the inheritance. You're like, no. The inheritance is free, It's supposed to just give it to you. They're supposed to just give it to you. Okay, wait. They're supposed to just give it to you. That's some stuff stuck in my teeth. Anyways, enough about me. How about you guys? What have you been up to? Mm. Ah, it hurts. Well, it's been so boring. I've been so bored. I haven't been doing anything at all, to be honest with you. I just want to go to sleep. Last night I slept, but I didn't. You know how it is. You're sleeping, but you're not sleeping. Yeah, it was so bad. I just want to go take a nap. You guys want to watch me sleep? Ah, maybe it's like 35 more minutes.
The highway was closed for several hours. The OPP is asking anyone who witnessed the crash to please contact them. A crash in London last night sent 4 people to hospital with life-threatening injuries. This happened in the area of Veterans Memorial Parkway and Bradley Avenue about 9:30 p.m. First responders were called to a multi-vehicle crash. London Fire says one vehicle ended up in the ditch and on fire. 2 people had gotten out of that car while another had its doors pried open to get those inside out. As they try to determine what happened, police are asking motorists in the area at the time to check their dash cams for any information that might help with the investigation. Police in Durham Region are asking for the public's help in finding a missing pilot and his aircraft. Police say 73-year-old David, who was identified by family as David Douglas, departed from Oshawa Executive Airport in a single-engine home-built plane at 8:30 a.m. Friday. He is an experienced pilot, but he didn't return by 9:30 as expected. Durham police say the aircraft's last known location was believed to be around Balsam Lake. Anyone with information is asked to call their local police service.
He took the plane and he ran off with it.
He's looking for a driver who allegedly left
He was like, I'm gonna go to Colombia.
in the junction. Investigators say 3 vehicles collided in the Old Weston Road and DuPont Street area shortly after 6:30 this morning. Callers reported seeing people.
He was like, I'm out of here. Thanks for the likes, kids.
The vehicle sustained significant damage, but paramedics say they didn't transport anyone to hospital. A man in his 30s
a lot of
was
crashes
seriously
has been
injured after
happening.
a stabbing near Jarvis and Wellesley. Officers were called to the area just before midnight, found the victim with stab wounds. He was rushed to hospital where his injuries are considered now considered to be non-life-threatening. Police say the suspect fled the area. No description has been released. And police are also investigating a stabbing near Keel and Rogers Road. It happened just before 11:30 last night. A man in his 30s was taken to hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. There's no word on any suspects, and so far no arrests have been made. Halton Public Health says a bat found in Burlington this week has tested positive for rabies. Officials say this
rabies.
is the first confirmed case of rabies
Gross.
in a bat in the region this year. Rabies is a viral disease spread through the saliva of affected animals. Public health officials say it can be fatal if untreated, but in humans,
who the hell would kiss a bat, though? That is so weird.
If you find a bat in your home, you're being advised to contact your local
If you find a
animal
bat in your
control
home,
services.
kill it.
The province says crews are still hard at work battling a trio of massive wildfires west of Lake Nipigon. The Rinker Lake Complex fires are still burning out of control and measured at a combined 377,000 hectares in size. Looking across all of northwestern Ontario, 2 new fires were confirmed yesterday for a total of 87 burning, 10 not under control. In the northeast, 3
we
new
have to
fires
do something
were
about
confirmed
the
yesterday
fires.
for a total of 44 active blazes, 2 not
The
under
fires,
control.
bro.
Looking to the wildfire situation out west, some residents of Summerland,
So
BC are now able to return home after evacuation orders were downgraded to alerts.
We have a re-entry plan, which we're now executing. So Truck Creek was the first one. We're going to go neighborhood by neighborhood, as it's safe to do each one. And so the next neighborhood, it should, depending on what the fire does at any given day, we should be able to bring the next neighborhood back in the next couple of days.
Evacuation orders farther north in Peachland have been downgraded to alerts as well. Meanwhile, new evacuation orders have been issued along east of Thirsk Lake as the out-of-control Bald Range wildfire shifts south.
You have to
BC's
get a
Minister
smoke
Forest says his province has the resources it needs to fight the more than 120 fires currently burning there.
Over 800 resources outside of British Columbia that have come in to help support us in our time of need. And of course, our well-known firefighters, contractor crews, emergency professionals are working very hard. We certainly faced a very challenging week, but conditions have improved slightly. But again, we are still in the middle of August with challenging days ahead.
Officials have said returning residents should still be prepared to leave at a moment's notice, and key services like power and water may be limited or unavailable. The deadline is fast approaching for a new round of tariffs threatened by the Trump administration. Washington says they will move ahead with trade measures unless Ottawa backs off its own retaliatory steps.
Somebody,
Michael Couture has a look at what it could take to reach a deal.
We'll have as many meetings as it takes to do the work that Canadians expected.
A day after those assurances, CTV News has learned Canada and the U.S. are far apart in trade talks.
Go to
According
pizza
to multiple
topping.
sources briefed on
Wow.
the negotiations, the Americans want to see the immediate
Cheese.
return of U.S.
I like
alcohol
cheese.
to Canadian store shelves
Cheese is
once
so
a
good.
deal is reached.
Yeah.
And they're not including a significant reduction in tariffs on Canadian softwood lumber. Before provinces were briefed on the state of negotiations, BC's premier said lumber is his red line.
The softwood lumber sector is
Lumber is
bigger than
trees,
auto
eh?
parts and steel combined in terms of
We have a
Canadian
lot of
economy,
trees here.
and it needs to be front and center of the
We have a
table.
lot of trees. We
According
have a
to
lot of
one American
trees.
source, softwood lumber tariffs predate the current negotiations.
An extension is not something that has yet been discussed or talked about.
The president of the Canadian Chamber of Commerce was part of a briefing by Canadian negotiators. And she says small businesses could feel the brunt of these new 50% tariffs if a deal isn't reached by Wednesday.
They have the capacity to likely navigate the headache and the administration that really, when tariffs are applied.
Canadian officials tell CTV News the relief on sectoral
Okay.
tariffs being offered by the U.S. doesn't go far enough. Lowering tariffs on the steel, aluminum, auto, and lumber sectors has been a key demand by Canada.
How are the trade talks going with Canada, sir?
Sources are also telling CTV News if a deal is struck, U.S. Trade Representative Jamieson Greer intends to put it on President Trump's desk as early as Monday.
We need
But
the
Greer
deal
has
to
also
come
told
through.
multiple
Kuzma,
officials that everything will hinge
Kuzma
on the
big
president's
kids.
mood when he sees
Sign the
proposal.
With
papers.
just 5 days left
We
until
need
the
that
deadline,
shit, yo.
both the Minister of Canada-U.S. Trade
We
and the
need it.
country's lead trade negotiator are staying in Washington this weekend, hoping to work towards a deal. Michael Couture, CTV News, Ottawa.
Quebec's premier says her province has concerns around the dairy sector.
You guys
being
are so
part of
quiet
Canada's
today. You
trade
haven't even said
negotiations
hi.
with the U.S.
You're
We
so mean.
maintain our line, which is to make sure that the federal government will not concede anything when it comes to the preservation
If she's the
of the
Quebec
supply
premier,
management
then what
system for
happened
the
to the
dairy,
goats?
producers. It is very important.
Christine Frechette
What
was
happened to
speaking
the
Friday
goats?
after an emergency
Where
meeting
is the
with
goat? I
dairy
haven't seen his
producers,
ass like
where
at
she
all.
told them supply management
Francois.
is included in those ongoing negotiations.
I haven't
The
seen
province is
Francois.
home to nearly half of Canada's dairy
I haven't
farms,
seen
as
Francois in
Frechette
like a
says
while.
the U.S. is attacking Canada's way of governing the dairy sector. Trump has singled out the protectionist policy as a major trade irritant.
The Hard Rock Bet Casino app is here,
Can I
Ontario.
skip
It's
this,
safe,
please?
secure, and crystal clear with fast payouts and 24/7 local support. You can play over 3,000 games right here.
Skip,
Roll with
skip
us.
it. They won't let you even skip it. She said no.
This is about alcohol, it's about dairy, and it's
I
about
know this
products.
guy.
In
This
terms
lady,
of
Kenny
just
Anshaw.
placating the immediate tariff
Isn't she
threat.
the lady
And
that
these
says
are
she wants to
issues
run
that
for
the president
governor?
very personally cares about. When I was in the administration, I heard him talk about
Oh,
many of
someone's
these
calling.
things, including some of these high tariffs on dairy exports from the United States
Hello?
into Canada. Automotive is a key sector
Yeah,
for
what's
the
up?
president, and he does, of course, care very personally about the fact that
Obviously, it's you. Who else would it be?
have plummeted in terms of our neighbor to the north. And so
Duh.
progress on these issues, potentially a basket
What
of
is
other
it?
issues and a broader agreement, I think is probably what it's going to take to unstick this and prevent those tariffs from going into effect next week. But we'll
What
have
is
to see
that?
where things go throughout the weekend.
Oh. Oh. What do they do? Okay. Have you had some? Okay. What's how much How much is the pill? Oh, you're giving me like the $8 special. What about I try one for free and if I like it, I buy something? Because I don't know if I'm gonna like it or not. Or it's gonna like make me feel bad or whatever. Yeah, but I'd like to try it first, just to make sure. I'm good for it. Like that's the problem. It's not that the problem. The problem is I wanna just try it first and make sure that nothing bad happens, and then I buy something. Are you all the way over there, right? Okay. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it sounds good. I blocked you where? Okay, what's your number? Yeah. 228. Okay. Oh yeah, you still have the same number from the back. You don't have people coming running after you or whatever. Last question. Last question. Are you still with your girlfriend? Okay. Well, I'll send you a text. I'll just say hi. Okay, bye.
Going ahead, arguing he can't be tried twice for the same incident.
Oh, somebody say hi. Hey, thank you. Somebody showed up.
Seeking to
Thank you.
dismiss the remaining charges against him.
How you doing?
Prosecution will respond
Thank
to
you
that
for
brief.
saying
There'll be
something.
additional briefing. The court will probably hear argument. I think that'll be protracted, and I think that there's a potential for appeal here, obviously, depending, well, no matter how the trial court goes, there's potential for appeal. So this is a legal issue that could be in the courts for quite some time.
And the federal case alone could send Mangione to prison for life. There's more uncertainty this weekend around the status of the U.S.-Iran war, as both sides suggest peace talks aren't likely to resume. U.S. President Donald Trump touched on the conflict at a Friday rally on Long Island.
After we finish defeating Iran, which is being very badly defeated,
Player that.
pretty soon I'll be
I'm not gonna
declaring
even get
the
involved in this shit.
Hormuz Strait a territory of the United States.
Iran has used its control over the key shipping route to pressure the U.S. Iran's foreign minister said today it's up to Washington to meet Tehran's conditions for shipping to resume there.
The U.S. has achieved nothing except embolden a regional player that has been exporting terrorism for half a century and actually put a whole bunch of other people into jeopardy. There's been no strategic, achievement of anything, and I don't think this president will ever, apologize or whatnot. He'll double down and he'll just keep saying things like we just heard, which is just
Less
quite frankly
stress.
ridiculous. And it's
So
gonna make it,
stressful.
it's like the Greenland. He's talking about, our nation being the 51st state or Greenland being, part of the United States. It doesn't mean anything anymore.
President Trump said in his remarks that energy prices are worth it to prevent Iran from obtaining a nuclear weapon. The Islamic regime says it's not trying to.
Israeli airstrikes in Lebanon killed at least 11 people today. They mark the deadliest attack since an indirect truce between Israel and Hezbollah went into effect in June. Lebanon's health ministry says one strike targeted a home, killing 7 people, including 3 children. A separate strike left 4 dead. Israel says it was responding to attacks on its troops in the so-called security zone. Its troops still hold in Lebanon. It said Hezbollah militants then moved civilians into areas at risk, so Israel could be accused of targeting them. The Iran-backed group called those claims false.
At least 47 people have been killed after a powerful earthquake struck Indonesia. This video shows partial collapse of a building and locals running away in fear. The 7.7 magnitude earthquake struck eastern Indonesia early Saturday morning, damaging several structures. Also, tsunami waves of less than a meter were recorded in several areas of the Southeast Asian nation. And in the wake of record-breaking rainfall in Japan, hundreds of homes and vehicles were left stranded today east of Tokyo. The deluge left.
Damn, they literally got flooded. That is so weird. The water is so dirty too.
With muddy water. Search and rescue operations continue today for at least 1 missing person.
So gross.
Well, many people know the character Winnie the Pooh, but not many know the medical story behind his best pal, Christopher Robin.
Now, a new edition of the beloved story is helping to shine a light on the characters and a condition known as myasthenia gravis.
Here is Edward Bear coming downstairs now.
That's the guy with the grumps on his drums.
It is as
Guy
far
with
as
the
he
stuff,
knows,
man.
the only way of coming downstairs.
I'm so annoyed.
Do not always do what he asks of them. With myasthenia gravis, MG, even something as ordinary as stairs can feel like a great expedition.
Hamira Osman of Muscular Dystrophy Canada reads A.A. Milne's beloved story of Winnie the Pooh. Milne's son, on whom Christopher Robin is based, lived with myasthenia gravis, and this special online version includes comments from myasthenia patients highlighting how Pooh's experiences mirror their own.
The condition is an autoimmune condition, meaning that our own bodies are
That's the Popeye
generating
guy, you know. He has the,
antibodies to a very particular part
he has
of
the
our
mumps.
anatomy. And in the case of myasthenia,
The mumps
it's
guy.
at the interface where the nerve talks to the muscle.
I kept falling down the bus every time I tried to go up in the morning. Like, I'm 19-year-old, I'm going to school. And then I noticed that something was really off, like why am I falling all the time?
And Serene Zebker identifies with Pooh Bear's difficulty moving.
We all have the problem with climbing up anything. That we feel the tiredness and then the drowsy feeling of fatigue.
Serene was extremely lucky. Her myasthenia was diagnosed in a matter of days.
There can be a substantial delay for patients in getting to the right diagnosis, up to 5 to 7 years, actually.
In that time, they can experience irreversible muscle damage, muscle weakness, and this is why it's so important to raise awareness on myasthenia gravis.
Dr. Charles Kasarjan says part of the problem is that MG has such a wide range of symptoms, and also that they wax and wane.
That weakness can affect classically the eyes, so people can have droopy eyelids, double vision because it affects the movement of the eyes. They can have difficulty swallowing or speaking, so they can choke. They can have weakness in their arms or legs. And one of the things that's a bit scarier is they can have weakness of their breathing muscles.
The hope is that the new version of Winnie the Pooh will open the eyes of physicians and the public to this little recognized and often invisible illness. And up next, the Blue Jays were looking for back-to-back wins against the New York Yankees this afternoon. We'll have those highlights next.
Welcome back, everyone. It was just another beautiful day.
Let's
today.
go
And so
outside.
much to do in the city, this
I'm
weekend,
bored.
all kinds of festivals and street
All right, let's do it.
parties and events. So,
Let's
and
do
nudity,
it.
of course. So,
Yes. And do you feel the need for speed? Do you have a lead foot, Pauline?
well, let's say not for myself, but
Okay.
certainly I enjoy watching the race. Let's take a look now at the weather conditions that will be affecting the race. Oh, hang on a second. We're going to go
There you
forward.
are.
Now we've got 24 degrees in Toronto, feeling like 27, 25 down in Windsor. Look at that, feeling like 33, 16 in Thunder Bay with a humidex feeling like 21. Tonight, our lows are pretty close to normal, a little bit warm. 19 in Toronto, 17 in Niagara Falls and across a lot of the southern part of Ontario, 12 out in Kingston. So tomorrow we are looking at 26 for Toronto, feeling like 32, 28 Niagara Falls, 26 in Owen Sound. And some
Let's go on
clouds
a
and
field trip.
precipitation possibly moving in towards the later part of the day. So we were
I'm
talking
bored.
about the Indian forecast for that. We're looking at
Oh, the camera got really bad on the side. It got really bad. Cancelled. We are on Wi-Fi. We're going back upstairs. Okay, Liz. Because apparently I don't have the stuff to be able to go outside with it. So I just stream here until it's finished, and then go outside and use it without you guys.
It is the largest celebration Rastafari culture in Canada and features reggae music along with arts exhibits and of course Jamaica. It will be held in the Green Pea parking lot at Eglinton and Oakwood Avenue. Rastafest runs until 11 o'clock tonight.
And the Toronto Waterfront Night Market continues this weekend at Hotel X.
It brings together a market, lantern festival, and it's a musical festival as well, all in one event. So it's perfect for everybody. It's back in its 17th year, and this is actually the 5th year that the music festival is happening.
Guests can enjoy live music and cultural exhibitions and sink their teeth into a variety of different Asian street foods. The night market runs until midnight tonight and tomorrow from 2 p.m. until 11 p.m. We're off to the races at the 167th King's Plate.
Is going to streak away, and can we dread a dream? I'd love to see a Triple Crown winner. She's got the King's Plate by 7 or 8 lengths. Military.
Well, Luster is on its way. This is this year's winner of the prestigious race of Woodbine Racetrack. The filly was considered the favorite going into the $1 million event. Luster becomes the first since 2022 to win the King's Plate and the Woodbine Oaks in the same year.
The Blue Jays were looking for back-to-back wins when they played the Yankees at home this afternoon.
This is hit to deep left center.
You did get it.
Off the wall. Clement is getting the wave on his way to the plate. Getting there.
Charles McAdoo hit an
Yay,
RBI double
beat
in
the
the seventh
Yankees.
to give the Jays a 2-1 lead. They went on to add 2 more runs in the 8th for a 4-1 win. Former top prospect Ricky Tiedemann also made his major league debut, giving up 1 run in an inning and 2/3. The Blue Jays can sweep the series tomorrow afternoon. First pitch is just after 1:30.
Well, the Argos looking for their 3rd straight win when they were visiting the Edmonton Elks this afternoon.
Arbuckle towards the left. And they're giving him the touchdown. Nick Arbuckle into the end zone for the Argos.
Nick Arbuckle gave the Argos a boost heading into halftime with a touchdown in the final minute, but that would be the closest the Boatmen would come to the Elks, who dominated the game 42-12. The Argos are back home next Saturday, taking on the Tiger Cats at 7 p.m.
Toronto FC is playing its first match at home tonight for the first time in more than 3 months.
And it's given away here. Sargent is charging in behind. Just Sargent with a sliding challenge in. Shelley arriving. Save for three. So the Highlanders turns in.
The Reds' last game at BMO Field was back on May 9th when the stadium was used for 6 matches during the FIFA World Cup in June
Why
and
is
July.
BMO sponsoring New York
has
City?
gone 12 straight league
don't make
games
sense.
without a win and sits in 12th place
I
in
just
the
supposed to
East.
be
Kickoff tonight against New
Toronto
England
Navy.
is at 7:30. And coming up, Dr. Doom is standing tall after the latest Marvel's Avengers Doomsday trailer drops. E-scooters have become a more common sight on Ontario roads, but provincial police are issuing a warning after a video showed a rider taking one of the devices out on the highway.
CTV's Hannah Schmidt has the details.
It's a shocking sight. An e-scooter rider weaving in and out of traffic on Highway 78 in the Ottawa Street area of Kitchener. Waterloo Regional Police sharing this video, saying the rider was traveling at an excessive speed on the expressway.
That is not good. The guy is like literally with the scooter in the highway, bro.
Devastating
Who
consequences.
does
You
that?
can see that there's hardly any protection. Right?
Who
When you're
does
showing
that?
these on
Does
the
it
slide
think it
deck,
has a
pedestrians
vehicle?
aren't allowed on highways. Look at the damage we see between 2 vehicles colliding. The damage that can cause people inside, let alone someone who's on the scooter who doesn't have any protection on them whatsoever.
Ontario's e-scooter pilot program allows municipalities to decide where and how e-scooters can be used. The provincial rules set a maximum speed of 24
Speaking of
kilometers an
scooters, I
hour,
want to get one
but
again.
riders are not allowed to drive on highways and are encouraged to use bike lanes.
E-scooters are designed for a very localized, limited use. And, I think what we see as an example in the video that was released, someone is doing general not safe habits or practices.
An e-scooter doesn't have the same protection or visibility as a vehicle. And when a rider weaves between vehicles, drivers may not have much time to react.
Other people around are
Did they
probably
give him a
thinking,
ticket?
what is going on? This person's not supposed to be here.
Was
So
it
that
next
causes
one?
a risk in itself because people tend to, that they're in shock a little bit. It takes a second to process.
And this isn't just about what happens on the highway. Waterloo Region has seen more people using electric bikes and scooters. And local health data shows the potential consequences of incidents
I need more
involving them.
stuff
There
made.
were 145 visits related to falls involving e-scooters, e-bikes, and other motorized devices at the Waterloo Regional Health Network's emergency department during an annual period between 2025 and 2026.
It's gone crazy. It's gone crazy. It's like when I see 9, 10-year-olds, 2 people on it, just going in and out, no helmet.
We've heard this from Sunnybrook Hospital, also in Toronto, but also operating a trauma center, that there's an increase in the number of injuries that they're seeing on people, severe injuries.
Provincial rules indicate riders must be at least 16 years old. Passengers aren't
You have to be
allowed,
16
and
to drive
those
it?
under 18 have to wear a bicycle helmet. The pilot program runs through November 2029.
Ignorance of the law is no excuse. You have a responsibility to know what the rules are
I never wear a
and to
helmet.
follow them.
Police say the bottom line is simple. Know the rules before you ride and don't put yourself or others in danger. Because as you can see here behind me, there's not much room for error. Hannah Schmidt, CTV News, Kitchener.
And as Hannah noted, participation in the province's e-scooter pilot program is decided on a municipality by municipality basis. Toronto is one city that has chosen not to take part, with recent ad campaigns noting just because they're everywhere doesn't mean they're legal.
France's
Wait,
court has blocked
they're
the
not?
bill that bans social media for children under 15. The court said the bill infringed on freedom of expression.
didn't know
French
that.
President Emmanuel Macron has asked his government to rewrite the legislation to address the court's concerns. France was the first country in Europe to approve this kind of ban. The Canadian government has proposed a similar measure restricting social media accounts for children under 16. Well, a few weeks after K-pop superstars BTS said they wouldn't submit their music for consideration at the Grammys, the Recording Academy is reportedly reconsidering plans for a controversial new category. BTS released their first post-hiatus album back in March. A few weeks later, Grammy organizers announced a new Asian pop music performance category. Well, critics raised concerns that the new award would make it harder for the band to compete in mainstream categories, something band members appeared to link to their choosing not to submit to the Grammys. Now, Billboard reported Friday that the Academy is talking to members of the Asian pop community about how to proceed.
A new trailer for Avengers Doomsday is out.
They keep
Marvel
making
is
no
offering-
more of those
offering
things,
a new
man.
look at the villain who happens to be
Marvel,
played by
stop
a previous
it.
star of the franchise.
Stop this shit, bro. No more movies. We're tired. I don't know about you guys, but I'm tired. No more. No more Marvels, please.
Avengers Doomsday is set to hit theaters on December 18th. It is the first Avengers movie since Endgame came out in 2019. The villain, Dr. Doom, is played by longtime Marvel actor Robert Downey Jr., previously known as Iron Man or Tony Stark.
There's a reason that we have Richard Krause, the film critic, do this segment, because you can get confused when you look at titles of movies. There's a movie called The Last House, and there's another movie called The End of Oak Street. Richard Krause joins us now. Richard, they're both about houses on streets, but they're two very different movies. I guess that happens sometimes in Hollywood where we have similar themed movies. Take it away, my friend. We're talking about The End of Oak Street.
Yeah, this one is very different from the other film that you just mentioned. This one is the story, I think, that Steven Spielberg might have made in the early 90s if he'd written in his big book of ideas Jurassic Suburb rather than Jurassic Park. Because this is the story of Anne Hathaway and Ewan McGregor. They're married, they have a couple of kids, and there's a lot of tension in their household. Things are not going well there. And then one day, just a big clap of lightning. They see this big flash outside, and they look out the window, and there's dinosaurs running up and down their street, and the dinosaurs are eating their neighbors, and all sorts of terrible things are happening. So they have to figure out how they're going to survive. That's it. That's what this movie's about. It's about nothing more than that, and that's okay, because it is an end of the summer. You know, we're getting into the dog days of summer, the last couple of weeks of August, and this is a great popcorn movie that just offers
Where's the grocery
a couple of
stores?
things that really sold it for me. A, Anne Hathaway's scared face, second to
That's
none.
the only
No
thing
one
I care
does it as
about.
well as she does.
Food,
There's
please.
lots of great dinosaur action, and there are some
The
moments
food.
that
Where
are
the fuck is
genuinely
the food,
shocking,
man?
and there are some moments that will make you cheer a
Alcohol.
little bit. The audience that I saw it with, I saw a full
What
audience
else?
actually full-on
The
cheer,
houses.
fist in the air at one point, and I love that. Sort of a little interactive thing happening at the movie. So it's called the End of Oak Street, and it is a bit of fun at the movies. Do not think about it too much. Don't try and analyze the whatever the science is behind how dinosaurs suddenly appeared. They try and explain it in the movie. Doesn't mean anything. The family does some incredibly stupid things that seem to put them in more danger than take them away from danger. Don't think about those things. Go and have a good time.
Wow. One other thing about Anne Hathaway, she made it clear this week, her hair may be fake, like maybe mine is today, but her baby bump is real. So everybody, leave Anne Hathaway alone. She really is pregnant.
don't
She's
give
having
her
a baby. Okay.
cash, just
Sticking
eat
with the
transfer her.
dinosaur theme, Paw Patrol, the Dino
Yeah,
movie
she's too
for the
expensive.
kids, because obviously the other movie isn't for children. This one is. What's going on with Paw Patrol? Do we need another movie?
Well, this
Yay,
is the
40
movie,
minutes. Bye,
and then
bitches.
there's a television show, and if you have kids somewhere in the age range of